Welcome to Hero Villains. Thank you all for always following and supporting the channel. What do you think, Superman versus Megatron? In the vast multiverse of heroes and conquerors, there are symbols that represent hope, and there are symbols that represent absolute dominance. On one side stands the last son of the planet Krypton, the guardian of Earth, a being who possesses the power of a god, yet fights with the heart of a human being, Superman. On the other side stands the ruthless leader of the Decepticons, the metal nightmare from the planet Cybertron, a conqueror who has subjugated countless worlds and annihilated all who dared to oppose him, Megatron. Superman brings hope, boundless power beneath the yellow sun, and a will that never yields. Megatron brings merciless destruction, millions of years of combat experience, and a pure, unrelenting hunger for domination. When the Man of Steel from DC faces the war machine of Cybertron, who will be the last one standing? One of the most commonly misunderstood aspects of Superman is that he consistently and deliberately holds back his own power. Superman is always conscious of the fact that even a single moment of lost control could cause incalculable consequences for the world around him. For that reason, he has almost never fought using the full extent of his true capabilities. That self-restraint persists, even in situations where outside observers believe Superman has given everything he has. Whether he is struggling through a battle, displaying anger, or facing extreme pressure, he still unconsciously places limits on his own strength. Even in his famous race with Barry Allen, the tied result cannot be taken as proof of Superman's absolute ceiling, since he was still maintaining the habit of self-control that had stayed with him for years. Superman also frequently allows himself to absorb punishment from an opponent's attacks. The purpose is not because he is powerless, but to accurately assess the enemy's strength, speed, adaptability, and method of combat. By analyzing in the middle of the fight, he finds the most effective way to secure victory without causing unnecessary destruction. It was not until his grueling training alongside Mongol during the Our Worlds at War event that Superman truly learned how to free himself from the psychological barriers that had existed for far too long. Prior to that, he himself had acknowledged that one of the very few opponents who forced him to fight with his full power was Doomsday. However, at many other points in time, Superman had easily overwhelmed the majority of his familiar enemies, including Doomsday, using only a small fraction of his inherent capabilities. Therefore, the argument that more than 65 low-to sea-level feats Superman has demonstrated were merely exceptional outliers is far from convincing. Furthermore, even while achieving those very feats, Superman had still not fully unleashed his true potential. As the evidence indicates, the majority of both Superman's feats and anti-feats occurred while he was in a weakened state or was actively suppressing his own power. The scale of Superman's power does not stop at the planetary or galactic level, as it has on multiple occasions reached concepts of a far broader cosmological nature. One of the most notable examples is the confrontation between Superman and his pre-crisis counterpart. The collision between these two entities carried the potential to bring about the destruction of the universes they each represented. The impact of that conflict was not limited to physical devastation, but directly affected the very structure of reality itself. Timelines were rewritten, and the fabric of space-time was fractured and shattered. Superman has also engaged in battle with Brainiac, an entity who has repeatedly been described as capable of manipulating, rewriting, and annihilating entire timelines along with the structural foundation of the universe. Superman is not a character who operates within limit. He has also fought Nebula Man, an entity whose very nature of existence is that of a living universe. This means Superman has faced opponents of an entirely different order of magnitude. He once crossed the barriers of time to confront and defeat the very embodiment of his own death. That entity pressed the full weight of the universe down upon Superman in an attempt to crush his existence entirely. Yet Superman stood firm and continued to fight. He also survived the self-destruction of the fourth dimensional energy from Aztec, a form of energy described as capable of producing consequences that transcend the laws of reality itself. Superman once defeated scot-free when that character merged with the anti-life equation, a power commonly placed on equal footing with the primordial source of DC. He also engaged and overwhelmed Infinity Man, an entity simultaneously connected to the life equation, the anti-life equation, and the source itself. These confrontations place Superman at the center of conflicts involving the foundational principles that govern all of reality. One of the most debated feats is Superman overpowering Soulfire Darkseid. This version of Darkseid is described as superior to the true form of Darkseid by a margin that is nearly impossible to measure by conventional standard. The true form of Darkseid himself once nearly dragged all of existence to the brink of annihilation in his battle with Highfather. The source itself was even described as relying on both Darkseid and Highfather to maintain the balance of the universe. The fact that Superman could overcome an entity many times more powerful than the original Darkseid has become one of the most striking demonstrations of the scale of his power. Beyond his combat feats, Superman also possesses achievements of profound symbolic weight. He once held up all of heaven while being deprived of sunlight for an indeterminate period of time. What makes this particularly noteworthy is that this took place in a realm of existence beyond ordinary concepts of time and space, where the familiar laws of the universe no longer apply in the way they normally would. Superman has also claimed that he could destroy the Phantom Zone, a non-dimensional realm within the domain of the gods and commonly interpreted as part of a Platonic hierarchy of existence. If all of these facts are accepted in the way they are presented in the source material, then it is clear that Superman's feats cannot be dismissed as isolated exceptions. Look at Superman one more time. He truly is a real hero. Superman is even stronger than Superman himself. I really hope you will. Subscribe to the channel, it would mean a great deal to us, and you are the most wonderful person. Thank you so very much. Now let us talk about Megatron. Megatron is the supreme leader of the Decepticons, the notorious Transformers organization driven by the ambition to impose its own order upon the entire universe through absolute force. In his view, peace can only be achieved through complete subjugation. It is precisely that extreme conviction that has made Megatron one of the most feared and influential figures in the history of Cybertron. Megatron is the embodiment of destruction. He possesses overwhelming strength, razor-sharp combat instincts, and a ferocity that gives even the most battle-hardened warriors reason to be cautious. Megatron knows no fear. He always charges into battle with the unwavering determination to crush every obstacle standing in the path of his conquest. However, what makes him truly dangerous does not lie solely in his superior physical power. Hidden beneath that brutal exterior is an exceptionally strategic mind. Megatron is a genius tactician, fully worthy of the warlord title he has carried throughout his entire existence. He possesses the ability to assess situations with extraordinary speed, exploit the weaknesses of his opponents to their fullest extent, and adjust his tactics to suit each circumstance. It is precisely this combination of strength, intellect, and battlefield experience that has allowed him to lead the Decepticons out of situations that seemed utterly beyond saving on numerous occasions. In terms of raw power, Megatron has long been regarded as a peer-level rival to Optimus Prime. Both represent the pinnacle of strength for their respective factions in the prolonged war fought across Cybertron. However, at certain points, Megatron has surpassed that familiar equilibrium by a considerable margin. The most notable example is when he obtained the Stealth Bomber form, a new body engineered to optimize his combat capabilities and elevate his power to an entirely different level. Following the events of Escalation, Megatron's old body was placed into a grafting chamber and reconstructed with the support of Ore 13, a mysterious ore possessing the ability to amplify energy and enhance the performance of a transformer to an extraordinary degree. Through that exceptional source of power, Megatron was reborn in a new form that was stronger, more dangerous, and more effective than he had ever been before. According to the events depicted in the story, Stealth Bomber Megatron was directly augmented by Ore 13, transforming him into a true war machine in every sense of the word. The power he demonstrated surpassed even those warriors who had been augmented by Shockwave using that very same ore. Even the brutal war gods enhanced by Ore 13 could not generate the same sense of overwhelming dominance that Megatron projected in his new form. This indicates that the level of upgrade he received was not a standard improvement, but rather a breathtaking leap forward in every conceivable aspect. Even Optimus Prime, long regarded as the symbol of strength and indomitable will, encountered tremendous difficulty when facing Megatron in this state. The attacks of the Autobot leader no longer produce the clear advantage they once had. On the contrary, Megatron continuously forced his opponent into a defensive position through overwhelming power combined with precise and calculated combat ability. In one particular confrontation, he neutralized Optimus Prime with remarkable speed, dismantled his opponent's counterattack rhythm, and struck his gun with astonishing accuracy, depriving Prime of a critical firepower advantage. What makes Stealth Bomber Megatron most terrifying does not rest solely in his superior physical strength, but in the combination of his battlefield experience, razor-sharp combat instincts, and his inherent ruthlessness. This is a Megatron who no longer relies simply on brute force, but rather a perfect conqueror who knows exactly how to exploit every weakness of his opponent in order to secure victory. With the energy derived from Ore 13 and a comprehensively upgraded body, the Stealth Bomber form has become one of the most fearsome and powerful versions of Megatron in the entire history of Transformers, formidable enough that even Optimus Prime must fight with absolutely everything he has just to hope to hold him at bay. Megatron is also a deeply compelling orator. He understands how to wield words to ignite passion, plant within others a belief in a new future, and transform his own ideals into a driving force for thousands of individuals. That exceptional power of persuasion allowed him to rapidly gather a vast number of loyal followers. For many Cybertronians, Megatron was not merely a leader, but a symbol of change and the burning desire to shatter the old order. Megatron is equipped with a powerful fusion cannon mounted on his right arm, capable of unleashing attacks of tremendous destructive force. Concealed beneath this weapon system lies a sharp blade, allowing him to switch fluidly between long-range combat and close-quarters engagement. Megatron wields both types of weapons with astonishing precision and effectiveness, demonstrating the comprehensive combat proficiency of a warrior who has survived countless life and death battles. Beyond that, Megatron also possesses extraordinary physical strength, impressive speed, durability that far exceeds ordinary limits, sharp reflexes, and an endurance that is nearly impossible to wear down. He once destroyed an entire building through his own raw power alone, proving the level of devastation he is capable of producing even without drawing upon any special energy sources. He defeated Decepticon, the entity regarded as the embodiment of the D-Void and also the incarnation of the dead universe. Beyond that, Megatron was also capable of inflicting damage upon the D-Void itself, the entity responsible for creating rifts between universes and threatening the stability of the entire multiverse, something that was confirmed by Galvatron. The mere ability to confront an existence of that nature already speaks volumes. This occurred after absorbing a full-force attack from Regenesis Shockwave. This is the version of Shockwave who possessed the power of the dead universe, an entity capable of causing the entire structure of space and time to collapse. Despite being struck by an energy force capable of annihilating reality itself, Megatron survived and continued to fight. That achievement does not merely reflect his extraordinary endurance, but also affirms the standing of Megatron as one of the most dangerous, resilient, and formidable warriors ever to have existed. This is a battle of power, a clash between the immovable and the absolutely destructive. Regarding speed, Superman will hold an overwhelming advantage. His speed far surpasses anything Megatron can keep pace with. Megatron, though agile relative to his massive size, is still a heavy machine. Superman can fly circles around him at supersonic speed, delivering hundreds of strikes to the joints and weak points on Megatron's body before Megatron can even raise an arm. Each punch from Superman carries the force capable of shattering a planet, and Megatron's armor will begin to crack under that relentless barrage of attack. However, the issue lies in the phrase "will begin to crack." Megatron is not easily taken down. His living alloy is extraordinarily resilient and possesses the ability to absorb kinetic impact. He has endured strikes from Optimus Prime, strikes amplified by the Matrix of Leadership, an object of divine power. Megatron will withstand the initial overwhelming assault. Megatron's fusion cannon fires antimatter energy or plasma at extreme temperatures. Can it harm Superman? The answer is yes. Superman can withstand the heat of the sun, but antimatter is an entirely different concept. It does not merely burn, it destroys matter at the subatomic level by annihilating it upon contact. A direct hit from the fusion cannon will not simply scorch Superman, it will trigger a destructive explosion on his very body, breaking down his bioelectric field and causing genuine damage. Superman has previously been harmed by advanced energy weapons from other extraterrestrial civilizations. The technology of Cybertron, particularly Megatron's weaponry, operates at that tier, or potentially even higher. Megatron has shot and wounded entities no less powerful than Superman. He will not be helpless. Ruthlessness. This is Megatron's advantage. Superman always fights with restraint, constantly trying to avoid killing his opponents and to protect the innocent. Megatron has no such restraint. He will exploit every advantage available to him. He will fire into crowds of civilians to force Superman into a defensive position, creating openings. He will attack Superman psychologically, exploiting the Man of Steel's fear of loss and sense of responsibility. While Superman fights as a protector, Megatron fights as a destroyer. He has millions of years of experience in killing and conquest. He knows how to finish an opponent in the most efficient way possible. Superman may be physically stronger, but Megatron is the far more seasoned predator. Superman has one fatal weakness in kryptonite, but Megatron is unaware of this and does not have it on hand. However, Megatron possesses something else entirely. Magic? No, but Dark Energon, a mystical energy source regarded as the blood of Unicron, the god of chaos in the Transformers universe, carries properties remarkably similar to magic. If Megatron is equipped with or gains access to Dark Energon, something he has done on multiple occasions throughout his history, his weapons will take on a dark, supernatural quality that Superman has no particular resistance against. On the other side of that equation, Megatron is capable of learning and adapting mid-battle. If he recognizes that physical strikes to the torso are futile, he will redirect his focus to the eyes, pressure points, or environmental tactics. When the battle unfolds, it will be ferocious. Superman opens with a series of lightning-fast strikes that leave Megatron staggered, but Megatron will quickly retaliate with the fusion cannon, forcing Superman to either evade or endure agonizing explosions. Megatron will transform into tank mode, maneuvering continuously while bombarding the surrounding area and turning the entire battlefield into a sea of fire. Superman, recognizing the true nature of the threat, will shift into a more serious mode. He will use his speed to close the distance, deploy his heat vision to cut into Megatron's cannon, and attempt to neutralize his primary weapon. But Megatron is a battle-hardened warrior. He will anticipate this move, using his other arm or close quarters weaponry to counter. A single slash from Megatron's energy blade, infused with Dark Energon, could carve a deep wound into Superman's skin, a wound that will not heal easily. The battle will be prolonged. Superman is stronger and faster, but Megatron is relentless, ruthless, and commands devastating firepower. The outcome will ultimately be decided by a single moment. This is a battle that Superman will win, but it will be a victory hard-earned and marked by injury. One that demands he fight with every ounce of his strength and willpower. Megatron is an extraordinarily dangerous opponent, armed with weapons capable of harming the Man of Steel and possessing combat experience that is second to none. But Superman has something Megatron does not: the ability to transcend his own limits. Superman's power is not fixed. When confronted with a true challenge, when the lives of the innocent are placed in danger, his will pushes his strength to an entirely new level. After enduring the blasts from the fusion cannon, after watching Megatron devastate everything around him, Clark Kent will come to realize that this is not the moment for restraint. He will fight not as a protector, but as a warrior. He will unleash his maximum speed to neutralize the fusion cannon with a single punch, channeling every bit of his power, destroying the weapon's energy source entirely. He will then turn his focus to the joints, to Megatron's optical systems, using his superior mobility and strength to reduce the war machine to a heap of scrap metal. Megatron will fight to the very end, but he cannot keep pace with a Superman who has made the absolute decision to finish the fight. A punch, amplified by supersonic velocity aimed directly at Megatron's spark chamber, the soul of a Cybertronian, will be the finishing blow. Superman wins. Megatron brought destruction, but Superman brought hope. And in this universe, hope always finds a way to prevail. And that will, in the end, will bring even the most ruthless war machine to its knees. And that is our analysis of the battle between the Man of Steel and the leader of the Decepticons. Let us know your thoughts by leaving a comment down below. Are you on Superman's side or Megatron's? If you enjoy epic matchups like this one, do not forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any upcoming battles across the universe. And remember to follow us. Thank you all for watching, and we will see each other again in the next battle.